Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on creating interactive maps. We'll be using Folium. So whether you're a data scientist, a geographer, or just someone interested in visualizing geographical data, I think Folium is a powerful and easy to use tool for creating stunning interactive maps. In this video, we'll cover three main topics: setting up the map properties, adding layers to the maps, and we'll even create a custom HTML for the pop-up and tooltips. So our data will be the cities and municipalities competitive index. So I'll show you how to download the map boundaries specifically for the Philippines, and how how do I assemble the CMCI ranking and specific other data related to CMCI. So let's dive in. So a quick demo. So we have the CMCI overlays again with a custom HTML tooltips. We also have custom markers for the top 10 provinces, which is Rizal in 2023 ranks first. We have the bottom 10 provinces in terms of CMCI. So the last one is the Sulu region. And also I will teach you how to create specific regions based on the specific geometry of the graph. So if you're interested to learn this map creation using Folium, so I will teach you in details. So first, you want to download the administrative boundaries for the Philippines. So go to this link, gadm.org, download country specifically for the Philippines. Then select the level 1. So the level 1 is composed of the JSON files or the JavaScript object notation. So another one, so I manually downloaded each detail. So for this example, Rizal, situated in region for Calabarzon, its population and its revenue. So I have created a CSV file and hosted into my GitHub account. So here is the data of the cities and municipalities competitive index with name 1 similar to the JSON files from JADM. So this will be our, if you know database, this will be the primary key. So since GeoJSON data, we have a problem here in spacing. So I manually created another column for the province so that, for example, the Lanao del Sur here is one unspaced name. So in reality, it's Lanao space del Sur. Then the rest of the data that is associated with creating the map, as you can see here. So this will not be an easy task for beginners. So maybe for intermediate users, you have to have a knowledge of Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and programming. But with enough effort and time, you can learn how to create interactive maps such as like this. So also, you will need a Google Colab account. If you have a valid email, it will be no problem. So this Google Colab is for free. So again, as a recap, what will you will learn? You will gain skills in creating interactive maps using Volume. You will also learn how to create custom HTML contents for pop-ups and tooltips. I will provide the detailed information about the geographic features when interacted with on a map, which in this case, the Philippines. You'll also discover how to enhance the map usability by adding descriptive legends and layer controls that allow toggling the visibility of different map layers, which improves the overall experience. So let's start coding. Let's create the demonstrated or the exhibited interactive map. First, I will create a text cell. So I have a code cell here. In order to convert to text cell, so I will use Control MM. So this is a code cell. I want to have a markers so that when I'm editing the code, it will be easier to navigate from section to section. So I will name here imports. So from this section on, so we will create the code for import. So this is a comment. So I will just import the libraries. So what we need is the importation of volume. So this line, it imports the volume library. Again, volume is a Python library used for creating interactive maps. It is built on the Leaflet JavaScript library, and it allows you to visualize the data that's been manipulated in Python on an interactive leaflet maps. So another import that we will need is the import pandas as PD. So this line imports the pandas library and gives the alias of PD. So again, pandas is a powerful data manipulation and analysis library for Python. It provides data structures and the functions needed to manipulate structured data seamlessly. The alias PD is a common convention and it allows you to refer to the library in a shorter form throughout your code. So another one, we will also need the import geo pandas as PD. So the pandas library with the alias of I mean not PD, GPD. It's for the geometric operations performance performed by Shapely and GeoPandas. It also depends on the file access and the Matplotlib library for plotting. Again, GPD is also a common convention. It allows you to refer to the library, to the whole library as the instance of GPD. We will click the play button at the side or shortcut. Or in shortcut, we can use the keyboard shortcut Shift Enter to execute the code cell. We will extract our data source, of course. So for our data source, so again, it is hosted in my GitHub library. So all data set. So in the link, public files dataset geodata. So I will need to load the specific GeoJSON data that we downloaded from GADM. So we can use a GDF instance of GPD. Then we will use the read file function. So I will paste the link to the raw GitHub file. So this will be the specific link. So we are assigning the GADM41 PHL1.json data we will read as a GPD, as a GeoPandas, and assign it to a GTF variables. So if we assign the GDF, so this will be the result. So these are the contents of the JSON files. As you can see, this geometry column represents the boundary of the Philippine regions, including its provinces that are assigned for each region. So if the screen become crowded, so you can also use the GDF head to show only the first 10 instances of data. So from 0 to 9, that's 10 data. So if you want less data, so you can use a GDF head with an index of 5. So the n that you will provide inside the parameter of GDF head returns the number of rows, in this case 5. So if no argument is provided, it will also default to 5. So for example, I don't have a parameter provided, it will default to 5. So if I said GDF dot head, so only the first three data will be shown. So for the next one, so the column is just a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. But we will only need based on the CMCI data that we will merge, we will need only the name one and the specific geometry. So in order to extract those specific column, let's say we commented this, we will retain the needed columns. So we'll define another variable, reassignment, GDF, GDF, then the name one column, then specifically we will need the geometry column. So again, if you want to show what will be the result, so sample here is we have Abra and the specific geometry, which represent again the boundaries of the Abra region in the Philippines. So this is a method in both pandas for data extraction, so for selection only. Okay, so we have discrepancy in data. So we will copy the Basilan region at index 8. So let me show you at index 8 and explain why. So based on the CMCI data, we have two Basilan, which is not present in the RGJSON data. So what we would like to do is copy of the instance of the Basilan and its geometry and create an instance of Basilan 9. So how we will create that? So we will copy the Basilan at index 8. I will not show you, but the original data of Basilan is at index 8, and we will assign an index of 81. So we will just copy the instance. So define a selected row variable, GDF iloc is at index 8. So we're just on the stage of data preprocessing. So this Basilan, so I'll copy this one. So this selected row, then we will create a data frame out of the selected row. So selected row equals pd dot data frame. We will create a data frame and the variable selected row index 81. So why index 81? So we will include this one. So if I change this one to GDF tail 80, so the last data that we have is Sambuanga Sibugay. I don't know if we have 81. So let's see. So the last 81 data, the the last data is 80. So we will copy an instance of the geometry of the basilan because based on CMI index, there are two instances of basilan. The basilan with no 9. So let's fix the data first before we proceed to mapping. So again, this selected row with the PD data frame is passed as a list, hence the square bracket around the selected row. The index 81 is an argument that sets the index of this new data frame to 81. So to continue, selected row at 81. It means that uh, I have a selected row at a specific index of 81, then name 1 is equivalent to basilan 9. Okay, this used to access a single value for a row column pair. Here, it accesses the name 1 column for the row with index 81. Then the next one is we will need to concatenate the selected row, which is the basilan 9, and add it to the existing GDF data frame that we have. So in terms of concatenation, so GDF is equivalent to PD concat GDF specifically for selected row. And we will provide another parameter of axis 1. So again, this is a list of the data frames to be concatenated. We need to concatenate GDF data frame and selected row data frame at axis 0. It means concatenate both data frame in a row level. So if I execute this one, gdf.tail 5, the last 5 data for the GDF data frame, you will notice that we added the basilan X or the basilan 9 rather to our original data frame. So from 80, so from 80 regions from the original JSON file, so we now have 81 regions with the inclusion of basilan 9. So we're not mapping yet because we are just uh, reconstructing a clean data. So next one, if our geometry in our, this time I call this primary key because this is the unique name of the region. So we will now integrate the geometry which is present on the GDF data frame to our CMI overall score, including the region assignment, the population, and the revenue for each regions in the Philippines. So read and process CMCI Philippines. So we are interested here on the overall score and the other data assigned. So to do that, we need to define a variable. We name this one CMCI data frame. Then we use the pandas property of read CSV. So I will just paste the file and the link for the raw data for the CMCI Philippines.c uh, CSV file. So since we're dealing with the municipality, so we will remove the Metropolitan Manila area or the NCR. because we're only interested for cities and municipalities here. I have no specific data for the Metropolitan Manila, so I will filter more the data frame CMCI DF and CMCI DF. This is a conditional selection of data frame. So if the province is not equal to metropolitan Manila. So we will remove metropolitan Manila to the CMCI data frame. CMCI DF. Okay. So this line is a reassignment to CMCI DF that is not the metropolitan Manila. So we are removing the metropolitan Manila area to our CMCI DF data frame. And of course, we are also interested in ranking such as this. So the most competitive region specifically is the province of Rizal, which is assigned in Region 4A Calabarzon in the Philippines. They rank first with a CMCI score of 44.07. So let's execute this again. So as you can see, here's a data frame without the metropolitan area. Then I'm interested in the specific rank. So I'll show you the code. So CMCI TF, which is will create another column right here, which name rank CMCI TF CMCI. We have based on the overall score, we will rank each province. Ascending equals false means that we will arrange this ranking from descending order and with the data type specifically of integer. So we will have no floating point numbers or decimal CMCIDF. So we have specifically now the ranking, which is Basilan is rank 76 based on the CMCI overall score. Tawi-Tawi, Sulu. I think Sulu here ranked the last with CMCI overall score of 12.1853. So let's not make it crowded. So let's only display the last 10 that can be found in the data. So let's proceed now to the next step. So the next step is to merge the geo JSON data to our CMCI data. Let's create a merge data variable. Then using the pandas library, so we will use the function of merge. So our regional data, which is GDF, we will merge on CMCIDF on. So which one is common between the two data frame? So name one. So this is CMCI data. So if we look above, so CMCI is common to the name one of the GDF. So GDF, we will merge based on name one, and the method is inner join, so that they will have definitely, if a specific data do not exist on the GDF or the CMCI data frame, it will not be merged. So this line merges the GDF geodata frame with the CMCI data frame based on the name underscore one column using an inner join. So I'll show you first what will be the result. It's a good habit to see the data first before you proceed. So based on this one is my GDF data frame, and this side is my CMCI data frame. So we're working now side by side based on a commonality of name one. So it merges based on name one. If the province Abra existed on the other side of the data frame, so its data will be merged. Okay, this line, uh, we will now select only the specific column that we will need if you merge this one. So let me, so we have 8 columns, so name one, and we have geometry and the specific index of 0 to 81 rows. We have now 81 rows. So that's our merged data. Okay. So let's proceed now since our data is already merged and clean. So let me have this one so that we will only display three rows of set of data. So let me comment this one. So let me create now the map code proper. So create now map based on the volume. So based on the map, I already calculated this. We will define a latitude of 12.143 and a longitude, if I'm not mistaken, of 123.442. Then we assign a variable m, create a variable m, and we will use the volume dot map. So what will be the parameters? So the first parameter is the location. So this specifies the initial center of the map. So it accepts a Python list. So there's latitude. There's also a longitude. So another one, which is the zoom start. So we give it a value of 6. So the zoom start sets the initial zoom level of the map. The value 6 is an integer that represents the zoom level. So the higher the zoom level means the closer to the map. Then we will also use a default tiles, which is on this case OpenStreetMap. Then a name also of OpenStreetMap just for labeling purposes. So what are the tiles? So the tiles, it specify the tile set to be used for the map with different designs. So the OpenStreetMap is a free and editable map of the whole world that it allows you to display the map with a particular style. So in case of the name here, this is an optional parameter only. It defines the tile site layer. This can be useful in adding multiple layers for the map in terms of clarity. So if you want another tile, you can define a volume that tile layer property and select a valid a code, which is this case is a CartoDB positron. We will name also this one as CartoDB positron just for legend purposes and add to property to add it to the existing map variable which is we define as m. So if you want to see the map, you just define an M. It means the M will show the map. So this is our map layer. So it is default to Car2DB. This style is a Car2DB positron. So along the way, we will create a layer control so that we can switch. If I commented on this, so let's see what will be the result first. So this is the OpenStreet tile. It has a different feel and different design as compared to the Car2DB positron. The Car2DB positron is much more plainer. So if you don't want a very crowded style, this is an OpenStreet design map. So it depends on your preference of which one to use. So now we have also the tile. Then the next coding, so it will be a lot because we will customize the content of a pop-up. So for now, we have this code for setting a function for selecting specific tiles. So let me comment this for documentation purposes. We create a volume, map and include a tile layer. It's a good practice to always document your code so that 3 weeks from now, months from now, or years from now, so you will know what you have done before. So it's a very good practice that you will document your code, probably line by line or portion by portion. So, okay, so the next step, we will create a Choroplet map with an integrated tooltip, not just integrated, but a customized tooltip. So, but first, we need to define a function for our custom HTML content. So the following code will be a lot, but I will discuss it line by line. So in order to define a function in Python, you need a keyword def. Then we will create a pop-up HTML function which accept parameters of properties. So instead of using the native pop-up style, so we'll customize it so that for the future, if you want to style specifically an HTML pop-up with a customization, let's say you want to add more images to the tooltip, so you can do. So we will define the specific provinces based from the properties of our province. So remember, we have a province column. So if you review the video and you look at the code above, it will have a specific province. Then score will be assigned to properties of CMCI overall score. Another one, rank, properties, then rank. Another one. So in the future, if you want to create a logo or an emblem for each specific region, so you can do so. But for now, we have no specific logo. So maybe in the future, so properties. So temporarily, I will provide a rank. But someday, if you have a data of images, you can change this to specific logo. Excuse me. But for now, we'll just assign it to rank. Maybe on the next tutorial, we will include a logo on the tooltip. Then next, we have the region. We define it as properties of region. Another one, we have also data of population, then assign it to properties of population. Another one, we have revenue, assign it to properties of revenue. Then we will create the HTML structure of the tooltip. So return format. So we will return the structure of our HTML. For this one, uh, the tooltip will be contained on a division with the class of CMCI tooltip. So we assign it a class so that we will be comfortable in editing this in terms of design settings. So for now, in the interest of time, so I will paste some code here. So we have the CMCI header. So I commented the logo for future purposes. If you have a specific logo, so you can change this logo. But for now, we don't have a logo. And the HTML content is commented so that it will not show. Then for the H4, we will display the province. So this is the CMCI header, which will terminate on this side. So let's just fix the indentation for readability. Then I will paste some code because this already finished and for the interest of time. So this one is the header. Then under the header, we will design a CMCI data. Specifically, let me fix the indentation first. So under the CMCI data, there's an ordered list inside. Then we will design this later on HTML. It means that the header is the province and the specific list are the score, the rank, the region, population, and specifically revenue. So in summary, we created a function named create pop-up HTML here, create pop-up HTML that takes only one argument, which is the properties. So the properties argument is expected to be a type dictionary that contains various pieces of information about each province. Our next step is to define a variable for the storage of the features. So we'll create here features is equivalent to blank list. So we will append such data, but for now, it is a blank list. So it initializes an empty list named variable feature. So this list will be used to store the GeoJSON features created in a loop. So let's create the loop for underscore row in merge data. Remember, we have merge data. So if you review the video, the merge data is from name 1 up to the ranking. So we have merge data. So we will iterate the merge data using the iteRows property. So we're using a point loop. So the iteRow is a loop that iterates over each row in the data frame, which in our case, it's a merge data. It also generates an iterator that yields an index and a row data for each row in the data frame. The underscore here is used to ignore the specific index as this will be not needed in this loop. So under the for loop of iterators for the merge data, we will create our feature to be assigned to our created pop-up HTML. So what will be the code? First, we will need to define the type of feature. So this sets the type of the GeoJSON object to a feature. Another one is the geometry, which is the administrative boundaries. So in terms of row, remember, we have geometry dot. So in order to extract the geometry of the current row and convert it to a specific compatible GeoJSON format, we will using the underscore geo interface attribute. So we will use the geo interface attribute. Another one, sorry for that, we have geometry. So another one, we will need to define the properties as a dictionary. So we'll need to define a properties as a dictionary for the JSON feature. So each property that we will define will correspond to the column in the data frame. So each property that we will define here should correspond to the merged data column names. So let me see. So for our first property, we have province, which is specifically of row of province. So it sets the province property. Then, in the interest again of time, fast forward. So I will assign such properties that matches our merged data frame. And the last one will be our pop up HTML, which takes the function of create pop up HTML, which is the assigned rows. So we're creating a type feature based from merged data, specifically the geometry and its specific properties. The create pop-up HTML will receive the return HTML structure based on the received properties. So if I receive, for example, the province of Abra, so it will be displayed on this variable. And since the variable properties are assigned to a specific context, so it will be displayed as an H4 tag in the tooltip. So this one is for the features. So it's not yet finished, of course. So another one is to append the created uh, features, which is a blank list, is to append our created dictionary of feature. So this line, it adds the created feature dictionary to our features list based from the loop. The next step is to create a GeoJSON data dictionary. So after the loop completes, this GeoJSON data, let me define the GeoJSON data, will represent the GeoJSON feature collection. So at first, we need to define the specific type. This is an advanced concept. So if you want to understand this more, so I advise you Google on the internet GeoJSON data, specifically the feature collection property, and also the defined features, which is we constructed as features. So the feature collection and the features, which sets the features property to the list of features created in the loop. So the next step now is to create a choroplet. A choroplet with a built-in tooltip. So a choroplet, by the way, is a map of, it's a thematic map where areas are shaded or patterned in proportion to the values of a variable that is being displayed. So after we define such function, features, and iterators, so we will now create a choroplet. So CMCI, let's assign this to CMCI choroplet variable and use the volume choroplet properties. So each one has a specific properties. So I will explain this one. So the first property that we will need to supply is the geodata. So our geodata is the merge data, but Choroplet uh, accepts a JSON file. So from a data frame of merge data, we need to convert it to JSON. So this argument provides the geographic data in converted into a GeoJSON format. The next one, we will need to name. So CMCI overlays. So this will be the name that we will see on the layer control. So more on layer control. Since we have the administrative regions here for the geodata, we will also need a specific data. So the data, it specifies the data frame containing the data to be visualized in the map. So it's also the same because the merge data contains other information about our maps. So we use the geodata as a JSON format because of the geometry column. Then next, we will select the specific columns that we want to project. In this case, we have the columns of province, and each province we have the CMCI overall score. And another one, after specifying our columns, we need to have the key on feature. So be very specific on this key and feature. So since this is a JSON file, so we have a feature dot prop. But first, let me show you the JSON file. So this is our data, which is geodata. This is the GADM, so level 1 map. So if you want to see the raw file of this, so we have features, and we will, so we have features and specific properties. So since our join will be at the level of the province, so I will say this a feature that we have a properties. So connect with a common one from the merged JSON data and the merged data frame to feature properties for the Quezon province. Then we will select a fill color. So a pattern of yellow green, which is YLGN. So this is a constant. So there are many properties here. So you can write reds. you can write blues. But for now, I will use yellow green, which is YLGN. So this one sets the color scheme for the choroplet. So again, YLGN stands for yellow green color scheme. So other color scheme are also available in Folio. Then the next property we will define is to peel the opacity. So it accepts a maximum value of 1. So this opacity will be near opaque. So 1 is the opaque. Then if you want zero point 0.5, it's a translucent opacity. Then we will also say that I want a color equals to black. So it means that the border of the region will be color black. And another one. So legend name is what will be displayed at the control layer or the volume control layer. So we have CMCI overall score, or you can say all CMCI score. Then after you define a specific choroplet, you need to add to the M, which is the R instance of the map. So this line explains that a choroplet object will be assigned to M variable, which is our map, which will effectively render our choroplet layer inside a map. So the next one, we will define a pop-up. So if you want to see the result, so hopefully we have no error. So if I try to run this, so we have error here. So province, so GU interface, I think we have an error on the part of GU interface. So raw geometry, okay. So raw geometry, GU interface. So let's see. So we have an error on the GU interface. Oh, there are 3 underscore. And let's run it again from the top. So we will now have a choroplet. So the darkest green will be from the range of 39 to 44, which is this one is Rizal. But remember, we have customized the tooltip, but we have no way of projecting it. So based from the video, as I hover this, there should be a tooltip. So let's create the specific tooltip customized based from our customized HTML design. So let me drink some water first. Continue this one. So we need to show the tooltip, we need to define a volume GeoJSON. So let me define a GeoJSON variable and a volume dot GeoJSON, which is this will be very vital in creating our tooltips, our customized tooltip. So the first argument will be data. What will be our data? Our data will be our GeoJSON data. So where is that GeoJSON data? Remember, we already constructed our GeoJSON data based from the features that we define on this ito-rows merge data. So this one will be projected inside the GeoJSON volume data. Okay. So this will specify the GeoJSON data to be added to the map. The GeoJSON data variable contains the GeoJSON feature created earlier, as I've shown before. The next, we have the tooltip property, which is a volume geo JSON tooltip. Tooltip. Specifically, it has also some properties that we need to define. So first property is we need to define a specific fields. So the fields will be the pop-up HTML because we already created the fields inside the pop-up HTML. Then we will now use aliases, but our aliases will be blank because it will be projected on our custom HTML. Next, the label, let's see, so will be false. So what this means is to disable the labels in the tooltip. Another one, which is property of sticky equals true. So this makes the tooltip sticky. So meaning it will stay open when the user moves over the mouse. When the user moves over the mouse, so the tooltip will follow your specific movement of the mouse. So that's the sticky property. Another property, since we are dealing with custom HTML, I will say we will parse. We will parse the HTML as true. This enables the parsing of HTML content into the tooltip. Another, so the direction of the tooltip, possible value, top, left, right, bottom. So we will project the tooltip at the top. Then permanent, so we will set to false. So this means that the tooltip is not permanent and will only appear when the user hovers over the specific region of the map. Then the last one, so since we are dealing with custom HTML inside the tooltip, we need to provide the class name, which in this case, I will define it as a volume custom tooltip. This one is for styling purposes. Then if you want to create a specific style, so you can define a style function, style underscore function, which is equivalent to lambda. Lambda is equivalent, if you're familiar with JavaScript, as an anonymous HTML element. So lambda. So we'll define a variable x. X is the parameter of the anonymous function. So we will design this one. Fill color of, we will provide hexadecimal value, FFF, 6F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0, 0. This will set the fill color of the features to a transparent one. Another one will define a color for the tooltip, so maybe a color of black, and the weight of the border, which is 1. So that will be our tooltip. So is it finished by now? No, it's not finished by now. So since we have the specific style here, and we have the specific, so let me see. So we have a JSON here. Let's see the start and end. So we have specific JSON. So we have specific custom tooltip. Then I think we need to add the JSON as a child to the coroplet. So in order for it to be automatically integrated to the coroplet, and no need to separate this one as a layer control. Okay. So this is the weight. So let me check. So this one is for the GeoJSON data. This one is for the coroplet. So let me check first so that there will be no error. So this one is for the choroplet. So add M. So GeoJSON, volume GeoJSON. Okay. So we have GeoJSON here. Also, we have a GeoJSON tooltip from here. So it's finishing right here. The GeoJSON data will be finishing right here. Okay. So I'm just checking. Then the next step is to add our definition of CMCI choroplet, if I'm not mistaken, as a child to our already existing GeoJSON. And another one, we need to add the CMCI choroplet, this one. So the GeoJSON choroplet to the map itself. So that add to map. And let's run the code. Okay. So add to M, sorry, I have no definition of M. So let's run the map. So we have an error here. Object of type Paxson is not serializable. Okay, so maybe we have some error here at line 179. So let me check this one first. Okay, I think this one is the error. So I need to finish this one, the tooltip, and the style function is a separate entity. So this will be the finish. So if I run this again, let's see. So this one is the map. And if I hover, so this one will be the tooltip. But since we're dealing with a list, so we will customize the look and feel using a cascading style sheet. But for now, as you can see, if I hover on the map, so each region has different intensity of colors in terms of green, because this one is the legend, the choroplet, as you can see above, but it's being black for now. This one, that will be the choroplet, this one. Okay, so for Isabella, so Quirino, so we have a choroplet right here, which is CMCI overall score, and at the same time, built into the choroplet is a GeoJSON with a property of tooltip. So we're extracting the specific data assigned with a specific HTML structure. We're not using uh, the default settings for the tooltip. So next one, so let's remove the M since we are finished with the choroplet. So let's see, how about we project the top 10 provinces based on rank, based on rank. So let me run this again so that I will remove the existing map. Okay, so let's connect to a runtime. Okay, I was disconnected. So we'll create now a marker, for example, for the top 10 provinces for the Philippines. So for the extraction of data, I'll define a variable top 10 data is equivalent to merge data. Then we will sort the values by rank. So let me show you the data. Top 10 data. So as you can see, the cell is rank number 1, but we will only need to display the top 10 data. So we'll use again top 10 data.head. You need 10 data only. So this one is for the top 10, sorry, top 10 data with a head, top 10 data. Let me show you the data. So from Rizal, okay, up to the Batangas. That's our top 10 in terms of cities and municipalities competitive index. So in order to identify the top one, so I can define a top rank variable based from top 10 data of rank. We'll use the minimum. The minimum value for the top 10 data rank will be 1, which is assigned for Rizal province in the Philippines. The next one is to create feature groups because we need to display this on a layer control for the top 10 provinces. And I'll define the FG centroid of the top 10. So we will use the centroid of the specific region to be placed by a specific marker. So we will need to put a specific marker on the centroid or the center of the geometry of the map, which we can use also as volume. So we will create a feature group because I want to show this on the side at the layer control. We name it top 10 provinces. Then by default, this will be unchecked. We will disable first the overlay. Then we'll use a for loop statement similar to what we have used before. For in top 10 data, then we will iterate the specific rows. So if color is green or if the row rank is equivalent to the top rank province, else the marker will be color blue. So if it is the top one, so the color of the marker will be green, and if it is from 2 to 10, it will be blue. So based on that, we will use a volume marker. So let me supply the property, location, row, geometry. So we need to compute the centroid, but we will not use it manually. So our row geometry, the center in terms of y, and we have also the row geometry and a centroid in terms of x. Next one, we will define our pop-up in a specific format. So H4 can say that is our row province. And we will terminate the H4 in terms of HTML. If you're familiar with HTML, so this will be the markup. So row rank. Another one, we will define the icon, which is a volume dot icon color is equivalent to our defined specific color. So for the top 10, the only possible colors that we define is if you're the top one province, your color will be green. And if not, the color will be blue. Then the next step is to add to the specific centroid, which is the centroid top 10. Okay, so we will add it to the feature group, which I will show you when the map renders. We will add the FG centroid top 10, then FG centroid top 10 we use to add to the specific map. So if you want to see the layer control, so let me define a specific layer control. So we need to assign a volume layer control. For example, I want a volume layer control to add to M, then display the map itself, which is M. So we have an error here. So raw geometry centroid, let me see. I think this will be a parenthesis instead of a curly brace based on the documentation. So let's run again from the start. So green rank, top rank else blue. hmm I think this will be a quotation of rank. So let me run again. hmm So I think we succeeded. So this one is a volume layer control so that we can see our tile. Let me disable this one. This is an OpenStreet tile. This is a CartoDB positron. These are the CMA overlays will built in tooltip. Then these are the top 10 provinces, which is specific format. So based on the data, Rizal is rank number 1. That's our marker. This one, Davao del Sur, but we'll fix the presentation because it's not displaying to my liking. So we can improve the layout more. But as for now, this will work. Then we will recreate it again for the bottom 10 provinces. So the code will be similar to this one. Okay, so now for the bottom 10, let's create again another maybe code. Let's separate the M so that will not repeat this one again. So let me run this first. So this one is for the top 10 provinces. So let me create for the bottom 10 provinces. So the code will be similar to this one, but instead of sorting by rank on ascending, so maybe we will use a ranking based on the tail and not on the head. So let me copy first this because this will be a similar uh, code with the above top 10 provinces. And let me explain this one by one. So this will be a code. So if I paste this one, so we have the bottom 10 data. So the merge data is sort values by rank in ascending order, but I will need instead of the first 10, I will need the bottom 10 and assign to a variable low rank the bottom 10, which is the maximum. The maximum is here is rank 81. I think it's Sulu. Then again, compute for the centroid. So the red one will be the last, and the orange one will be from maybe from I will not say worst, but the lower rank. 80 and below, which is we have 9. Then also we compute the centroid. So similar to the code above, so the list will be red and the less rank will be orange. And we will show a bottom 10 provinces. So as an addition, so if we have top 10, then we will have bottom 10 provinces. So if I run this one, so now we will be adding another overlay. So let me see. So FG bottom control. So I think we are missing this one. So let me copy this. So this one should be at the last. And let me run it again. So volume layer control to add to M. Okay, so we have CMCI overlay with complete data. Then we have top 10 provinces right here. Green, which is again, I think the green one, if I zoom, so it will be Rizal. And if I show you the bottom 10, I think we have this one. So R2DB, so bottom 10. So the list rank 81 is Sulu. Then we have Batanes at 74th, Catanduanes at 75, so 79, Lanao, Tawi-Tawi, and Basilan in Barm. Okay, let me see this one. CMCI and specific pointers. So the layers are all activated right here. So let me run it again so that you can see clearly. CMCI overlays, top 10 provinces, bottom 10 provinces with specific overlay. Okay, so let us map for the specific regions. So we have a lot of regions here. Let me add another text. So this one is for a specific regions, and we have a lot of regions. But don't worry, we will create a function so that we can map specific regions. So if you know for loop very well, I advise you to master the concept of for loop. There's a lot of usage, not just in GIS mapping, but generally on programming. So we define first a style function for the specific regions. So we will have a, let's see, color red for the boundary if we select specific region, and the weight, the border of each boundary, and the dash array property. Let's say we have 5, then comma 5. So this sets the border style to a dash line. The dash array property defines the pattern of the dashes and the gaps. So this value of 5 means that a pattern of 5 pixels of dashed followed by a 5 pixels of gap. So it's a broken line with a specific customization. Then we add a specific region. We define another function, add region layer. So we have a lot of regions here. As you can see our data from the original data. Let's see, CMCI Philippines CSB. So we have a lot of regions from BARM up to region 1 to to 13. So we would like to display this, but we will use a functional programming. So add region layer, and we'll define a parameter, the GDF. Of course, we need a region name, and we will assign it to a map object so that we will render it into the graph also. So for the region data, we need a conditional selection of GDF region based on the provided region name. Then from this concept, we will create a volume GeoJSON data again so that we will identify its set of regions. For example, Calabarzon, Caraga region, Region 1, Mimaropa, or the likes. So it will be possible if you create a volume.geojson. So the GeoJSON map is similar to creating overlays. So remember, we will use the specific region data passed to the add region layer. So our region data must be converted to a JSON file first for order this to work. Then the specific name of the region that will appear on the layer control will be the specific region name. The overlay should be true so that we can see the overlay. Then our style function will be equivalent to our defined style function here above. If it is only one parameter, you don't need to provide this feature one. It's automatic. If you provide one argument, so it will recognize as a feature. Then for this one, we will create a pop-up also, but a non-customized HTML is the native settings of pop-up. It will not provide a specific settings. So the pop-up here for the specific region will be different from the overall tooltip for the CMCI index because we're not defining a parsed HTML. So we will select specific fields. So our fields, so let's select, I think, province based on our data. Region will be included and the CMCI overall score together with the population and specific revenue. We have also aliases, which is, I think, is the same. So the fields are the data that appear in your data frame or the JSON data. The aliases will be the labels. So it's a good practice if your fields will match the specific aliases. So province, our labels will be province with a colon. Then you can say labels equals true. We will show the labels. Also again, so sticky equals true. It means that if we point to specific regions, specific coordinate, uh, that will be the place where the pop-up will show or the pop-up will be visible. So this one sticky equals true. Then we will define a minimum width. Let's say the minimum width for the pop-up will be around, let's say 400. Also for future purposes, if you want to customize this one for future purposes, then the direction will be top. Again, possible values, left, right, bottom. But when I click the specific regions, so it will show at the top. Then show is equivalent to false. So it means that it is deactivated at first. Then we need to add the specific map to the map object itself. So since this one is inside a specific function of add region, so we can iterate this one in order to map each specific regions. So all we need is a list of regions, which is I will copy and paste this one. So based on the data, we have this one. So you can program this, but I opted to manually include it into a list for the specific arrangement. So it's not alphabetical. The Cordillera Administrative Region can be found at the northern part of the Philippines, and the BARM can be found at the southernmost. Okay. So I just manually include the specific regions so that our function can map this one specifically. So we will use now a for loop for region in regions. So we'll iterate from each list that can be found of each region. Then we will use our function, which is add regions layer. We will merge the data to a specific region, and we will assign to the map itself, which is the map object right here. The region name. So if your region name is Calabarzon and region data is equivalent to Calabarzon, so show the specific volume GeoJSON. So it will iterate from CAR up to BARM. So that's the value of the for loop. Then if all else is right and we have no error in the code, so you will see, so we have error. So I think it's fields, province. So let's see. We don't have a comma. So programming is very unforgiving. It's not for the faint-hearted. Okay. So this is our map with specific regions. So for example, we have the car. So that's the Cordillera Admin region. We have the Central Luzon part. We have the from where I belong, Calabarzon in Quezon. And remember, we have a pop-up that shows specific data. Sir, I want to activate the CMI overlays. Yes, you can. So as you can see, we can still identify which specific regions we want. For example, Cagayan Valley. So we have also a pop-up, but we have also a hoover. If in terms of region, if the layer region is activated, you need to click the map. If not, this is the general CMCI scores. So same data, different presentations. Okay. So how about Mimaropa? So this side, Bicol. How about take uh, okay. So you can do that. So here's the Philippines. If you want other countries, so you can do that too. But it's crucial if you have specific data. So again, this is Central Visayas, and so on and so forth. Okay, let me reset the zoom in level so that I will see the specific region. So the BARM, okay, let me adjust this one. So the BARM right there, Western Visayas. Okay, so let me zoom again. So at 150. So CMCI layer, so regions, so bottom 10, top 10 province. So you can combine the layers. So next one is we would like to create a label explaining what are the uh, CMCI is all about. Okay, so let's text column HTML. So if you're familiar with HTML, this will be easy for you. But again, for the interest of time, I will copy paste the code for now. So I want to add an HTML element with a legend container with this specific property explaining what is CMCI, and we have a get root. It means to get the root element of the map and add the child element to the HTML itself. Here's our HTML. Then use and wrap it to the HTML so it can be added to the specific map. So if I run this one, so I will create a HTML element inside a map as an addition. So this one is the CMCI. But again, we don't have a specific settings for this. So that's why you also need to learn how to do CSS, which is cascading style sheet. For this is for designing web pages. So the generated map is composed of also HTML and CSS. So if you're familiar with CSS, so I have also defined a specific settings for that. So let me copy it now for the specific settings. So I already computed the settings. So if you're familiar with CSS, so this is a class. This is a class of CML tooltip. This is the CMCI header that we define from the above. So this one. So we will just add a specific styling. So you can review this if you want. So you can post. So this is a legend container with specific style. You can post it later. So we have a specific ID with the legend category. So for the CSS, we have the CMCI header and the CMCI data details. So let me show you. This one is the CMCI data details. So we need just to style this one. So I will not explain this anymore. So if familiar with CSS, you can display a flex box or a grid. So I use here the flex box. So CMCI list, and we have the, if you're the last child, there's no bottom. Then for the lip a pop-up content, so I will also calculate this one. Then the tooltip, I will show you the code. Don't worry. I will send you a link for the code so that you can practice this on your own. Then again, we add the styling to the root level of HTML as a child. Then if you run this one, if you want the detailed explanation of this, you watch my previous tutorial. I think I've discussed this thoroughly in the next. So we have the cities and municipalities index. Then, as you can see, we have now fixed the layout of the tooltip. Okay, so the layer is still existing. Then lastly, if you want to provide some labels here, so I recommend you to learn JavaScript. So in this case, I use the call it jQuery. So a text, I think this part is the JavaScript part with the specific code. So if you're familiar with jQuery, you will have no problem of doing this one. So this one, then run again. So we can see the map with specific labels such as map tiles so that a user will have a specific idea of what a specific section is all about. So this one. So another one. So let's run this one more time. Okay. Then the last code will be to export the map, which is m dot save. Let's say CMCI Philippines dot HTML. So if you run this one, so we will download the map so that it can execute on its own without the need of the Google Colab. So if you're ready to export this one, you can download it here. So it's downloading. Then after downloading, it can exist on its own. Oh, this is the code. I need to open this one into the Google Chrome. So even without internet, if you downloaded this map, it will survive on its own. So pretty neat. For me, it's a very useful map, which is identifying also the region, which also displaying the CMCI index. So this is our finished product that we can give to researchers or or anything for a specific purpose. So bottom province. So let's see. Mimaropa. So here's the Mimaropa region. So it's pretty neat. Okay. So I hope you learned something. This video is a 1.5 lecture. So again, if you review the code, the CMCI mapping, so I will provide you the link to download the code and to study on your own. So till the next tutorial, thank you very much.